Imagine a mountain, not just any mountain. This one rises from the coast of Israel. It overlooks the deep blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea. This is Mount Carmel. Its name whispers of ancient beauty. Karem El. It means God's vineyard, or perhaps Garden of God. A fitting name, don't you think? For a place so green, so alive. It stands as a silent witness, a sentinel watching over millennia of human history. A place where stories unfold. This mountain range is not just a feature of the landscape, it is woven into the very fabric of biblical history. It's a place where heaven and earth seemed to meet. Prophets walked its slopes. Miracles were said to have happened here. Its presence is felt throughout the Old Testament, a symbol of beauty, a place of divine encounter. Why this mountain? What secrets does it hold? Its story beckons us, inviting us to explore its spiritual heights and its profound depths. Mount Carmel appears many times in the ancient scriptures. It is often praised for its lushness, its fertility. The story begins in a time of deep trouble. Israel had turned away from the God of their ancestors. King Ahab ruled and his queen Jezebel promoted the worship of Baal. Baal was a god of storms and fertility, or so they believed. The land was parched by drought, a spiritual drought as much as a physical one. Elijah, a prophet of the Lord, stood almost alone. He carried a heavy message, a call to return, a call to remember. Elijah, bold and unyielding, issued a challenge, a public test, on the heights of Mount Carmel. He called for King Ahab to gather the people of Israel, and with them, the 450 prophets of Baal, and the 400 prophets of Asherah who ate at Jezebel's table. 2 altars would be built, one for Baal, one for the Lord, 2 bulls prepared. The God who answers by fire, Elijah declared, he is God. The people waited. The tension must have been immense. The prophets of Baal went first. They prepared their bull. Elijah's fiery contest is not the only time Mount Carmel graces the pages of Scripture. Its beauty was legendary. The Song of Solomon, a book celebrating love, compares the beloved's head to Carmel. Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel, it says. This speaks of majesty, of a noble and beautiful presence. It shows that Carmel was a benchmark for natural splendor, a place that evoked images of richness and regal allure. It wasn't just a backdrop for miracles, its very essence was seen as a divine gift. The prophets often used Carmel symbolically. Isaiah spoke of the splendor of Carmel and Sharon. These places represented God's blessing and the fruitfulness of the land. When judgment was foretold, Carmel's desolation would signify deep loss. Amos warned that if people tried to hide from God even on the top of Carmel, they would be found. Nahum lamented that Bashan and Carmel wither, and the bloom of Lebanon fades. These references paint a picture of a land deeply connected to the spiritual state of its people. Mount Carmel is not a single peak. It is a coastal mountain range in northern Israel. It stretches for about 24 miles or 39 kilometers southeast from the Mediterranean Sea. It rises near the city of Haifa and extends towards the Jezreel Valley. This valley, also known as the Valley of Armageddon, is a place of immense historical and prophetic significance. Carmel forms a natural barrier, a watchful guardian over the plains below and the sea beside it. Its highest peak reaches about 1,791 feet, or 546 meters. The name God's Vineyard is no accident. The mountain range enjoys a unique climate. It catches the sea breezes, bringing moisture. This allows for lush vegetation, especially on its western slopes. Pine forests, olive groves, and vibrant wildflowers cover its terrain. This greenness makes it stand out, especially when compared to the more arid regions nearby. It truly looks like a garden, a testament to nature's bounty. This fertility was prized in ancient times. It made Carmel a desirable and revered place. Section 5. Whispers from the Past, Archaeological Treasures of Carmel. Deep within the folds of Mount Carmel, history whispers. One of the most significant sites linked to Elijah is Muraka. The name means the burning or place of fire. This is traditionally held as the spot of Elijah's contest with the prophets of Baal. Today, a Carmelite monastery stands there. A chapel and a striking statue of Elijah commemorate the event. Pilgrims come here to reflect, to stand where, according to tradition, fire fell from heaven. The air itself seems thick with memory. But the human story on Mount Carmel goes back much further. Much, much further. The mountain is home to several prehistoric caves. Tabun, Skul, Jamal, and El Wad are world-renowned. These caves have yielded remains of Neanderthals and early modern humans. some dating back hundreds of thousands of years. Section 6. A beacon of faith, the Carmelite Tradition. The spiritual legacy of Mount Carmel took a new form in the Middle Ages. Around the late 12th century, a group of Christian hermits chose this mountain. They sought to live a life of prayer and solitude. They were inspired by the prophet Elijah. They saw him as a model of contemplative life, a man who lived in God's presence. These hermits became the first Carmelites. They built a small chapel on the mountain, dedicating it to the Virgin Mary. She became known as Our Lady of Mount Carmel. The Carmelite order, as it came to be known, developed a rich spirituality. It emphasizes prayer, contemplation, and service. Elijah's zeal for God and his deep prayer life are central to their charism. Mary, as their patroness, represents a model of openness to God's will. The Carmelites see themselves as living in her presence and under her protection. Section 7. Carmel today, a place of pilgrimage and peace. Mount Carmel, even in our modern world, remains a powerful magnet for the spirit. It draws pilgrims from many backgrounds. Christians come to walk in the footsteps of Elijah and the early Carmelites. They visit Muraka and Stella Maris. Jews revere it as a place mentioned in their sacred texts, associated with prophets and beauty. The Druze community also holds sacred sites on Carmel, including the tomb of Jethro's sons, according to their tradition. It is a mountain shared. Adding to its unique interfaith character is the Baha'i World Center. The stunning Baha'i Gardens and the Shrine of the Bab are located on the northern slope of Mount Carmel in Haifa. These terraced gardens are a marvel of beauty and precision. They are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Baha'i faith considers this its spiritual and administrative heart. This brings yet another dimension to Carmel's role as a global center of religious significance, a place where different paths to the divine converge. In a region often marked by conflict, Mount Carmel can be seen as a symbol of potential coexistence. Section 8. The Fire Within Lessons in Bold Faith from Carmel. Let us return to Elijah, to that dramatic day on Mount Carmel. What can we learn from his story? First, we see the power of bold faith. Elijah stood against hundreds. He faced a hostile king and queen. He challenged an entire nation's religious practices, yet he did not waver. He believed in the God he served. He trusted that God would show up. This kind of courage, this unwavering conviction, is a profound lesson. It speaks to the strength found in true faith. Elijah's confrontation was also about confronting idols. Baal was an idol, a false god that had captured the people's allegiance. Idols are not just ancient statues. They can be anything that takes the place of true devotion. Anything that we prioritize over our deepest spiritual values: money, power, fame, even our own egos. The story of Carmel challenges us. It asks us to identify the Baals in our own lives and to have the courage to challenge their hold on us. The climax of the story is, of course, divine intervention, fire from heaven. Section 9. The Unwavering Choice. Whose side are you on? Elijah did not just perform a miracle, he posed a question, a sharp, uncomfortable question to the people of Israel. How long will you waver between two opinions, he asked. If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal, then follow him. The people were silent, they were hesitant, caught between their traditions and the pressures of the time. This question hangs in the air, even today. It echoes down through the centuries. The story of Mount Carmel is, at its heart, about decision. It's a call to clarity, a call to choose. In a world full of competing voices, full of distractions, it is easy to waver, to drift without clear conviction. Elijah's challenge cuts through the noise. It forces a moment of truth. It demands that we examine our allegiances. What or whom do we truly serve? Where does our ultimate loyalty lie? These are not easy questions, but they are essential. In our contemporary lives, we face our own Baals: the allure of materialism, the pressure to conform, the temptation of easy answers or moral relativism.